Hello everyone and welcome back to Great Lakes Sasquatch. We have another Squatchtale for you today called Bigfoot Around the Bend. This story was submitted to BFRO by AR. It is a real encounter story. Here we go. I don't recall which summer this sighting happened. It could have been the summer of 2000 or of 1999. It was sunny and warm, maybe 70 to 80 degrees out. I still have a hard time believing it myself, and the few people I've told have made so much fun of it that it makes it even harder for me to believe. I will start with a little background. We live in the southern part of Michigan, but my husband's family has a cabin in the northern part, near a town called Maya. After 3 years of visiting Maya and nearby towns, I still don't have my bearings when there. I can't supply any north, south, east, or west directions, but if you need it, my husband knows the area well. He's been going there since he was a small child. I do know a few names of roads, though. This is hard for me to explain, but when I saw Bigfoot, I totally dismissed the idea from my head until a few weeks ago. I would even go so far as to say that I forgot about it. Until recently, when I was trying to think of interesting things to search for on the web. For some reason, I thought of Bigfoot and happened upon this site. While reading some of the sighting reports, I kept seeing this image in my mind, and I would think to myself, now where have I seen this? Although I have seen shows on TV about Bigfoot, I still could not recall seeing my image. Then it came back to me. We were up north for the weekend with friends, and we were planning on doing some riding. There are many off-road trails where it is legal to ride ATVs with an ORV sticker. Well, anyway, my girlfriend and I went to town to get some things to cook for breakfast, and since we were in town, we thought we would go to a popular ORV spot on the opposite side of town called Bull Gap. There is a huge hill that is really sandy that everyone rides their ATVs and trucks up, just to see if they can do it, I guess. And there are many trails also connected to Bull Gap. It is state land. Well, we just wanted to see what was going on, so we drove there and didn't really stay. We just drove back there and looked, and then headed back towards town on M72. We were driving along on the paved 72, just talking about what, I don't remember. When we came around a curve, I saw a Bigfoot step into the tree line. I immediately interrupted my friend and asked, "Did you see that?" She said, "What did you see, a deer?" I said, "No, it was big and black." She said, "It was probably a bear." I kind of snorted, and my mind thought, that sure was not a bear. I slowed down where I saw the Bigfoot enter the woods and told her to look into the trees. That's where I saw it. It is a dense stretch of woods. Don't know how big. My husband said it is swampy, and the Osable River runs through the same stretch of woods. I've never been in those woods. My friend and I both looked and saw nothing. There was no trail and not even a space in the foliage where it entered. It was extremely thick, which made me wonder how it fit through there without making a path or something. I did not state that I thought it was a Bigfoot, because even saying it in my head sounded really stupid to me. I guess I would have been embarrassed. Instead, I totally dismissed it from my brain until recently. You have to understand that although I had always believed there could be a Bigfoot, I never imagined I would see one, and in my native Michigan no less. I had thought they only inhabited mountainous areas. After reading your sighting reports, though, I went back and reflected on what I saw. Never did I doubt that it was a Bigfoot. I thought that I had been imagining it or something. Truthfully, I had not even thought about it at all from minutes after it happened until recently. That seems strange, even to me, but I rationalize it by thinking that I saw something that my mind simply couldn't comprehend. so I think my mind just dismissed it. I will now tell you in as much detail as possible what I saw and how I interpreted it. It was definitely a Bigfoot, and if not, then it was a dream. I only saw it for a split second as it took one last big step and was gone into the trees. I'm not good at judging distances, but I guess it would have been about 25 to 30 yards away. I judge its height by the trees that it stepped into, and I would guess that was anywhere from 10 to 12 feet. It was truly the biggest man-shaped thing I've ever seen. It would have blown away the biggest of WWF wrestlers. I must tell you that I don't have the greatest eyesight, so although it was covered in hair, I didn't see the detail of the hairs. It just looked about exactly like the Patterson film Bigfoot. I did not get a view of the face. I just saw the outline of the body. It was broad daylight, around 9 a.m. The head was smoothly rounded, which makes me think the hair was so long that it laid down flat, not short, and distorting the shape of the head. The shoulders were so broad that it couldn't possibly have been a human. It also had long legs. It was completely black from head to foot, a very solid black. Even from a distance, and with my poor eyesight, it still seemed massively huge. I've never seen anything as big. I can't emphasize this enough. I have totally ruled out a bear. I knew that instantly. My husband tried to convince me of this, saying that bears sometimes stand on hind legs to get a better view. If that were true, then it couldn't have stepped like that into the trees. The shoulders stayed level as it stepped into the tree line. Besides, bears don't have that long of legs. Aside from head, shoulders, and legs, I also saw the rounded shape of its buttocks. I have also ruled out a human, even in a suit, because of the size of it and the distinctness of its outline. It appeared to me to have a very firm body. I think this Bigfoot could possibly hear my truck coming and was trying to get across the road before I came around the corner, which it did. If my eyes would not have been positioned exactly where it entered the woods, I would have missed the split-second view, as my friend did. The side of the road it was coming from is where there are plenty of riding trails. I thought maybe since people were starting to show up and ride, that it went to the other side of the road to get away from all the riders. I have since asked my husband if there were any riding trails on the side of the road it went into, and he said maybe a few, but not sure. It could be protected state land where you are not allowed to ride. He also said that he thinks it is swampy on that side. I plan on investigating further on the next trip up north. I will ask the locals if they have ever seen anything. I would like to go back and check out the area it traveled into to get a closer look and judge its size better. I did not stop and get out or anything. I have no desire to have a close encounter with something as big as the Bigfoot I saw. I don't recall if this is the same trip or not. We go several times a year. But on this occasion, we went on a canoe trip. There were 5 adults and 5 kids. We pulled off river and climbed a steep embankment to heed Mother Nature's call. The adults were standing around talking when we heard a very loud noise. It is very hard to describe it, but it sounded like a mix between the loud squawk of a parrot mixed with kind of a bobcat growl. It echoed along the river and lasted about 3 to 5 seconds. Everyone looked at each other and said, "What was that?" I've never heard anything like it. My husband said it was probably a cat, like a bobcat. 2 other guys said it didn't sound like any cat they've ever heard. We brought up that it might be a mountain lion, since not long before that, there was a report that there was one in the area. It supposedly peeled the skin back on a horse's face. The horse farm is located right next to the cabin. Scary thought. Since reading these reports, I had asked my husband, since he is an avid hunter and done plenty of it up there, if he's ever heard, smelled, or seen anything strange in the woods. He said he has smelled a horrible smell on several occasions, but thought nothing of it since he was raised being taught that bears smelled bad. He has also heard strange noises like screech owls or something. Once, when we were out riding around in the truck, we do that often to see deer, possums, bear, coyotes, or any other wildlife that we happen upon, we went to a very remote lake. There were no houses or anything around, and you have to drive 2-track roads to get to it. I can't recall for sure, but I remember seeing bare footprints in muck, and I thought, who would walk barefoot in this stuff? I did not think it was Bigfoot, but who knows? I will pay much more attention now. Thanks for joining us today for Squatch Tales on Great Lakes Sasquatch. Please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let me know what you think in the comments. Links to our social media accounts are in the description box below. If you have an encounter from the Great Lakes region that you would like to share, please email me, greatlakessasquatch@gmail.com. If you love Squatch stories just like I do, please check out some of these other really awesome Bigfoot channels and support them as well. PacWest Bigfoot, Bigfoot Case Files, and Blue Ridge Bigfoot. Have a great day and happy squatching!